Hey guys, welcome to another video, the first video for LL Gamma. Hopefully if you're watching this video right now, you've already finished the first step to this assignment, which was to write a 60 to 90 second presentation for Writing Skills 2. And now you should be ready to move on to the next stage, which is actually making your presentation for LL Gamma. In this video, I'm going to give you some advice on how to make a good presentation for your LL Gamma assignment. But before that, let's go over one more time what exactly you need to do. So for this assignment, first in Writing Skills, you wrote a 60 to 90 second presentation about how the coronavirus is affecting a country in the world. Now, using that script, you're going to record yourself making a presentation on your smartphone. For this assignment, there are two rules that you must follow. The first one was that you have to have a lot of statistics and data in your presentation. So hopefully in your script for Writing Skills, you've already done the research and put a lot of information into your presentation. The next rule is you have to have a visual inside your actual presentation. Now, a visual can be many things. It can be a poster, for example. It could be a slide or a PowerPoint slideshow that you've made. It can be a photograph of some sort, or maybe it's a graph that shows us some interesting statistics. For this presentation, I will say that you do not have to memorize everything in your script, but eye contact is still very important as it would be in any normal presentation. So make sure that you practice your presentation many times and try to memorize as much as possible for your recording. Okay then, so now let's go on to my advice for you on how to make an effective presentation. So my first piece of advice is be creative with your presentation style. Because you are going to be recording your presentation on a smartphone, this will give you a lot more options and choices on the type of presentation style you want to do. So before you begin your presentation, please sit down and think about what kind of style you want to do. For example, maybe you want to stand up and walk around like a TED Talk or something that Steve Jobs would have done for Apple. These kind of presentations are a lot more casual in tone, and they make it a lot easier for the audience to relate to the speaker. If you don't want to stand up or walk around, maybe you can do a presentation sitting down like a news broadcast. Of course, this kind of presentation is a lot more serious in tone, but this is a fantastic way of giving information to people in a serious manner, which the coronavirus obviously is a serious problem. And if you don't want to sit down, or if you don't want to stand up or just simply walk around, perhaps you can use iMovie or some sort of video editing software and make a short movie. Making a short movie or a short film is not easy, it's a lot of work, but of course the impact that you can make with a short film can't be beat. Whatever it is that you decide to do though, please make sure that you give it some time and plan it out before you go ahead and do it. My next piece of advice is make your visuals visible. What that means is make sure that it's easy to see what you have written on your visual. Here's a statistic for you. Did you know that 65% of people are actually visual learners? And what that means is people tend to learn a lot more from seeing something rather than just listening to somebody speak. As I mentioned, in this assignment, I would like you to have one visual in your presentation. That could be a graph, a poster, a slideshow, anything is okay, but to make sure that your visual has a big impact, it's very important for you to make sure that we can see and read what exactly is written on your visual. As a presenter, your job is to give the information to the audience in a simple and easy to understand way. So if you have a visual that's very difficult to see, you're making the audience work to get that information, which you don't want to do. Guy Kawasaki, who used to work for Apple, said that if you are making a slideshow or a PowerPoint presentation, the font should be 30 point or more. So what that means is you're not going to be writing paragraphs on your slideshow, you're going to be writing big key words that are easy to understand and easy to see for the listener. The same goes for posters as well. Make sure that your posters aren't filled with big, long sentences and big paragraphs, but rather we want big key words that the audience can see easily. My third piece of advice is to make sure that your visuals are also easy to understand. As I said, it's important for us to be able to see what is actually written on your visual, but also you want to make sure that the visuals are not too complicated and difficult to understand. The last thing you want is to be speaking and for the audience trying to understand what the numbers on your graph are. So whatever your visual is, make sure that it's easy to understand right away so that the listener can pay attention to your voice. My fourth piece of advice is be loud. Make sure that we can always hear you. I'm sure some of you have experienced this before, but when you are recording something with a smartphone in particular, it might seem like it's okay on your smartphone, but then when you watch it on a big screen, the volume is too low and it's very difficult to hear the voices of the people speaking. When the volume is too low, that can ruin all of the hard work that you put into your wonderful presentation because, well, we can't hear what you're saying. So if you can, please record in a small, quiet room if possible and be as close to the camera as possible without it being unnatural. And the final piece of advice is practice, practice, practice. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. And even though I mentioned that you don't have to memorize everything in your script, it's very distracting if you keep looking down at your notes throughout your presentation. So make sure when you record your presentation that you're fully prepared, ready to go, and that you make a lot of eye contact with the camera so that we're not distracted and we can pay attention to your presentation. Okay guys, so those are my 5 pieces of advice for you. I'm really looking forward to seeing your presentation, so please have fun with it. And make sure that before you begin, as I said, that you have a plan set and that you're ready to go. Okay, so again, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to push the green button on my website and then shoot me a question anytime. Again, I will explain how you are going to hand in your assignment again sometime later. So please keep checking my website or on Google Classrooms if we are doing that already at this point. Okay, so again, have fun with your presentation and stay home, stay safe, and I hope to see you guys soon. Okay, see ya.